Hello, all you lovely garden people, and welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market, where today we're doing something we don't normally do, tripod free with the camera, because this specimen plant is friggin' huge. And the specimen plants in the ground over there are about as big. This thing is perhaps 9 feet tall. And I'm going to get a close up on its foliage for you. Look at this foliage. Lumpy square stems. Oh, oh baby. Mm. Now, what is this plant, you ask, as we walk around it to show you its immense foliage, its fabulousness? What is this wild and crazy plant? Its scientific name is Salvia hispanica, or chia. The for really reals chia, the one that's usually put on chia pets, in fact. The name Salvia comes from the word salvis, safe, secure, healthy, and hispanica means of Hispanica, i.e., of Spain, even though this plant is not from Spain. This plant is actually from southern Mexico and Guatemala. The name chia itself, by the way, is from Aztec. It comes from the word chian, which I'm assuming I'm mispronouncing, which translated means oily, referring to the seeds once they're wet. They make this mucus coat that makes them slimy. Henceforth, oily. That's where that comes from. Now, this plant is hardy in zones 9 through 12. We're in 8B, so I have no idea if it'll survive the winter, but look at how much of it there is. Whew. Never did that before. Now, I should point out this is a redo of an older video that was done 5 years ago, episode 36. It'll be linked in there so you can see how different things are. I mean, I'm growing it in a pot this time, a tree pot, a really big tree pot, with the Peruvian tomatoes, which seem to be an interesting combination, and some giant mission marigolds. It was meant to be a trifecta of success and victory, which it was. Anyway, the soil pH preference for this plant is 6.5 to 8.5 and is adaptable to most soils but does not tolerate constantly wet soil. Its exposure is full sun to partial shade, and its height can be 1 foot to 5'9", though obviously in this case these plants did not get the memo. And there is one that is crooked off and growing sideways over here into my figs. Look, there's another piece, there's another one. And they just sort of, I mean, look at those roots. Look at those roots. Yeah, seriously, roots that I wouldn't be surprised if they grew out the bottom and are in the ground. That would be really cool, since I don't plan to move this plant. Anyway, there are several related species. Oh, I forgot to mention, the width can be up to 8 inches, because when you really look at it, each individual stalk is great, but there's not much branching except that one in the middle. This one seemed to have gotten the branching gene, but not the rest of them really. Anyway, there are several related species that you should consider that get labeled as quote unquote chia. And those species are Salvia columbiae, desert chia, Salvia polystichia, which doesn't have a common name apparently, Salvia tilifolia, linden leaf sage, and then there's a version of Salvia officinalis, the true cooking sage, subspecies lavendulifolia, which is Spanish sage, which is also sometimes called chia. Now, the great thing about chia is it barely needs fertilizer, and apparently its roots unlock nutrients for other plants planted near it. Because honestly, this first year I've had it here, and suddenly there's an explosion of growth on my Cadota fig. These plants did well until, it really got hot and I had to keep up with watering, which became difficult. Now, another thing about this plant that you should know is that when it is dry, it is a very dramatic wilter. Henceforth, that started as wilting, actually. The essential oils in the leaves are an insect repellent, so you can crush them up and make a juice. Sorry about that, that was me swatting away mosquitoes with my script. You can make a juice out of this and rub it on your skin to repel mosquitoes. This plant is also super sensitive to herbicides. So if it gets out of hand, you wiggle a bottle of herbicides at it, and it dramatically wilts and claims it has the vapors. Yeah, not bad. Also, apparently you can eat the leaves. In the last video, I believe I had a recipe about using the leaves with yogurt. So there is that. If not, that was comfrey, but I believe you can use the leaves for a bunch of stuff. edibly. And that basically summarizes the redo of the Chia video with epic level success. I haven't at the end of the season I will note how big these got. Though they're almost as big as the giant Zanzibar castor bean over there. That one giant one that was 18 feet tall at the end of the season, so we'll see if they break the record. Anyway, that's Ch-ch-ch-chia in a nutshell. So, if you have any comments about growing Salvia hispanica or Chia in general, please put them in the comment section. If you like this episode, please hit like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. The blog is still updating. And as always, folks, keep them growing.